Get started. Hello, everybody. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I hope if you're on not speaker view, but gallery view. I love gallery view because then you can see everybody's faces. I'm so excited. I've kept it a secret all day, and I don't keep secrets very well. Anybody who knows me knows that. I am so excited. We did a little poll the other day in our team page of what program everybody's doing right now. And there was a little mixture, but I would say an overwhelming majority of people were doing PiYo for their program right now. And of course, I'm a master trainer for PiYo, but there is kind of like a god of PiYo. And some of you have met her and some of you have not. But she is really kind of the wind beneath PiYo's wings. Probably one of the most humble people I've ever met in my life. PiYo would absolutely not be what it is today without her creative genius behind it, her countless, you guys have no idea what goes into every single PiYo live round, everything that's gone into it over the years, and just kind of the transformation that it's gone through from where it was to where it is today is really, really, really because of this amazing woman who's going to be on our call tonight. And her name is Michele Park, and she's one of my dearest friends. I'm so happy to have her on the call. So she is actually going to kind of share a little bit of where PiYo came from, how it became what it is today, just some insight on the program. And then we'll do a little bit of Q&A. We can't keep her for too long because she has another team call after this. So everybody, welcome Michele. Everybody's muted except for you. I think we should be able to hear you.
Hear me?
Wait. Can we hear her?
Hello,
They're saying yes. Oh, yes, we've got you. Great.
I like this view, this gallery view. This is great.
It's a good-looking group, huh?
Woo-hoo. Oh, nice. I'm looking at their backgrounds, trying to figure out where everybody is.
Don't look too hard. Yeah, you're zebra. I need something more sassy like that.
I'm surprised you don't.
Well, if we were in another room, we would, but right now I've just got a crazy dog in a toy room, so, you know.
She got me on the call by telling me this was a virtual wine tasting. Is that true?
Everybody hold up your glass. There it is, see?
Oh, I see now. Everybody's hiding it and down below. I'm on the call. I'm really excited to get to the question and answer because I want to find out what you guys want. But I'd love to give you a little bit of a background on PiYo and the PiYo version that you see on the DVDs and how it stemmed from the PiYo Live. So Shalene, you've probably heard Shalene talk about her Circus du Soleil experience in Vegas, and that's sincerely where she thought of it, but it wasn't PiYo back then. It was Turbo Flex, and then it went into Turbo Flex with Flex Sticks. Yes, that was very interesting. And then it became, there's wine in that water bottle. Now I know, Amanda. Now I know. There's wine. Then it became PiYo, and then it became PiYo Strength because we wanted to make it more athletic and bring more men into the room. And then when Beachbody took over and the at-home version was coming out, they decided to go back and call it PiYo Live. So that's kind of the evolution of the name process. Lesson one till about lesson 14 was the Turbo Flex with the sticks, and then the PiYo, which was a lot more dancey, a lot more choreographed. I'll tell you exactly when I took over. And if you didn't know, I am the format expert for PiYo for Beachbody. So I help develop a lot of the lessons and the choreography and pick the music. And then Shalene and I get together and hash it out. And then I send it out to people like Amanda or Melissa or my friend Larissa that lives out here by me. And I say, test it. What do you think? Does it work? Will it work for you guys? Will it work for the general public? And they give me feedback, and that's how I develop the lessons. But Shalene called me into a person's class one day, somebody that was teaching a PiYo lesson, and it was lesson number 18. And this is the PiYo Live. This is the instructor version. So this was about 2.5 years ago, and she called me into a class, and she said, will you watch this with me? And I said, sure, absolutely. Because who's going to say no to her, right? Sure, I'll do it. So I was sitting in the back of the room, and they had developed a bunch of choreography. And this is at the time, and Shalene will tells you guys, or has probably heard her say this, that she kind of took herself out of PiYo for a while. And she took herself out of PiYo so she could help develop Turbo Fire and really work a little bit harder in Chalene Extreme. So she was still in the loop, but she wasn't deeply in the loop like she is now. Well, she had taken herself out, and the choreography had got a little bit complicated. And she called me in, and we sat in the back room, and she said, she's looking at it, and I'm looking at her, and she's looking at me, and I know exactly what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, I don't teach like that at all. As an instructor, I couldn't remember all that choreography. It's way too complicated. It's too dancey for me. And I want my husband to be able to take it, or I want my mom to come into class and be able to take it, or Joe, the construction worker that is working on the church next door, to come in and take it on his lunch break, of course, but to come in and take it. And so that's what I was thinking, and she was thinking the same kind of thing without Joe. So she turned to me, and I had a lot going on at the time, and she turned to me and she said, we need somebody to take hold of this and to take it over. And I didn't look at her. I was looking the other way, and I'm like, dang it, I can't say no. And I go, yes, we do. I looked and I said, yes, we do. And she said, you should do that. And I went, not even with a hesitation in my head, but not through my words. I said, absolutely. So from lesson 18 on, I took it over. We are now filming lesson 37 next week. And it went through a whole process. So at the very beginning, we made it more athletic and more instructor friendly. And that was in the teens. And then the 20s, and like lessons 21 through like 25, we incorporated some more stretching and a lot less dance moves, and made it more instructor friendly and more athletic. The 30s is when it came into fruition. It's when it really hit its stride. And I'll tell you why, because we made it a lot easier. We brought in music that's more current, but we also brought in music that evokes a lot of really cool feelings. Like it brings out emotions, and sometimes not. Sometimes, you might be in tears, and sometimes you might be laughing, but music really does drive people. And we really made that important in PiYo in the later lessons. It's funny because we knew that there was another thing on the horizon for Chalene. And if you guys remember Hustle, that was the one that she wanted. She wanted to do Hustle, and because that was her baby, and she loved it. And Beachbody already had a dance format. That's a hip hop app, so it already had a dance format. So they didn't want to do that. So Carl said, "Well, what's this PiYo thing?" And I think maybe a little bit at the beginning, she's like, "Dang it, I wanted Hustle, and I'm pulling teeth to do PiYo, but I'm going to do it." She went 100% into it and has not looked back. And it is their number one selling program, obviously, at the moment, because it's their most recent one. But I believe it was the second, Amanda put me at the second best opener for a weekend. You know why? Because people need it. They strive for it. They need it. It's what the people from 20 to 60 and above need, because it's not only going to make you more flexible, it's going to make you stronger, it's going to make every other activity seem easier. It's going to help with your T25, it's going to help with your running, with your P90X3, and that's why this program works. That's really why it works. It's funny because we did a lot of prepping and changing the PiYo Live as soon as we knew that PiYo DVD, consumer DVD, was going to come into fruition. We made it even easier for the instructor. And we did that because we knew that when PiYo DVD instructor program came out, it would drive more people to the classes, to PiYo classes. And when it drove more people to PiYo classes, that would do what? That would increase the urgency for more PiYo instructors. Mm-hmm. So we did that so that we could make it a lot easier for those PiYo instructors that were teaching their first classes. By the way, if you're not certified, or if you haven't gone through the PiYo training, you definitely should, because it will enhance your business like no tomorrow. It's crazy. And for the amount that you pay for that education and the background on the product, it's hands down probably one of the best trainings you'll ever get. And I only say that because, yes, I'm a master trainer out in Orange County, California. And if you want to come out, come on. Don't go to Amanda's trainings. No, go to Amanda's training. She's awesome. But find a master trainer in your area. And same thing with like Insanity and if you can, P90X, because it's always really good to be that product of the product. that's kind of the history. And I know you might have heard a lot of it before, but not as much from my point of view, probably a lot from Shalene's point of view. So any questions you want on that, I'll love to answer. But if you don't mind, can I tell you about the filming? Can I tell you guys about the filming? Just a little insight. And it was 5 days. So they filmed, and this is traditionally how they do it. They filmed 5 days up in a crazy warehouse that when you walked inside, you'd be like, seriously, is this, like, people were sleeping on the outside, hanging out by the outside of the door. Like, we'd walk in the morning, there was a guy, I don't even know his name, but he would sit there with a coffee cup, and he didn't want to serve you coffee, he wanted your money. But it was very, it's a sweet guy, but it was pretty funny. We walked into the warehouse, and it was a completely different world. And we had 12-hour days, so we were there by 7, and we left at like 7, sometimes majority of the time later. And you guys know how long the videos are, right? There are 18, 19 minutes to what, max 40. So we did 2 videos a day in 12 hours. So that's an hour worth of film time in 12 hours. Now I know what you're thinking. You guys are such studs. You're working out for 10 hours and relaxing for the other 2. Not so much. 5 hours was wardrobe, not mine. 5 hours was wardrobe. Everything matched and everything looked good, and there were no tags. This is like the inside. This is kind of funny, but like no tags, nothing inappropriate was showing. We would wet down our clothes every 15 or 20 minutes to make sure that we were either actually sweating or we would cover up splotches of sweat. More about making sure we looked good with Shalene. And that might sound silly, but it's such a good visual. And when I saw the final product, I got it. At the first, I'm like, okay. And I do a lot of the PiYo Live instructor DVDs, so I understand that was behind the scenes, but this was serious behind the scenes stuff. And they had to break for an hour lunch because that was mandatory. And Shalene and I are workers. And the cast is workers. So we could have worked through lunch. We didn't have a problem with that. We just snack on the side. But you have to break for union, and then you have to break after 8 hours. So it was very, very organized that way. But majority of the time, yes, was on wardrobe, and it was on things would, if the music didn't match, or if she did one thing that was not the right counts, we would have to stop and start again. And I modified in every DVD. So for me, it wasn't so bad. Like at the end of the day, I wanted to go for a run. Those guys at the end of the day were worked. I felt so bad saying, every night I would go, so do you guys want to go work out? And they're like, no, not at all. Because if they did upper body, their arms were dying. If they did lower body, their lower body was dying. I remember Janelle saying, that is the hardest workout I have ever done. And it was only like the 18-minute workout. It was so funny. And Janelle Stewart, that was Janelle, her sister I was talking about, but Janelle Stewart, you have to watch her in the app section, the part that she does. I send Amanda a picture of her. Oh my gosh, she sprawled on the ground and just laid on the ground and she was done. And it was a 22-minute video, but it's so funny because it's stopping and starting and stopping and starting until they can get from beginning to end. That was extremely amusing, extremely amusing. The director was in love with one of the cast members. That's the men, and she kept telling him to take his shirt off. So when you see the men in the video, that wasn't intended. It was just they took their shirt off and they looked good doing it. But everybody in those videos is a PiYo instructor. So it was real sincere. I'll tell you one thing. And I'm not quite sure if I can share this, but I'm going to anyway because it's just us. But it got down to the point where after they had picked the cast, that they had picked, and sometimes they do this for the infomercials if you didn't know, sometimes they pick from a modeling agency, and it's not always the most athletic, or it's sometimes about a visual. And Shalene was very, very adamant on it had to be the people that got the program, that understood the program, that taught the program, that could do the program. And they had somebody that was going to do it, and the hours were told to her, and they were too long. So the cost for this person was a little bit probably what they didn't want to do. So Shalene turned to me and she said, do you have any thoughts? It's got to be this. They've got to be local. I'm like, oh, Holly. So Holly G, who is in 2 of the videos, and she's amazing, and she's a local instructor, and it was her first time ever in a video, and she knocked it out of the park. And she's so sweet and so humble and so nice, and she did such a great job. But she got asked at the very last minute, and probably 2 days before we were supposed to go into rehearsals, and I'm very, very impressed with her. So everybody in those videos is honest and sincere and humble, and they know their stuff and their product, and they worked hard. Oh, when I was saying that everybody works super hard, and I told you I was the modifier, and I told you that everybody would have to be wet down for sweat, I would say most of the people had to be spritzed. I had to be, because I was modifying, and even though modifying is challenging, I wasn't sweating quite so much. Don't tell anybody, because your average participant will, but they would come over and they'd look at me and they'd say, go in the bathroom and wet your pants. And I'd be like, what, wet my pants? They'd be like, go in the bathroom, take off your pants and wet your pants. So I had to take off my clothes. Is this information for you? Did you know? I'd have to go in the restroom and completely change and come back out with wet clothes. So that was my interesting story. But it was really cute and a great set. And the cast members, you'll see some interviews from them, I think, then when they start to do more of the infomercial. But they are sweet and they are humble and they are honest, and they're instructors and they're coaches. And they're just like you guys. They really, really are. And it was very fun being on set. It was really fun.
Awesome. Thank you, Michele. It's time for some questions. So if you are in a quiet place, feel free to unmute yourself and talk. If you're not in a quiet place, just go ahead and use the chat box. Love to see your questions. Michele would love to answer them. Okay, go ahead. Uh-oh, I hear squeak, squeak. Nobody has any questions for Michele, really. I know I don't have a shy group. Oh, Aaron Dodson does. Hold on. Do you need me to unmute you, Aaron? Hold on.
I get it?
Yep, go ahead.
Oh my God. I'm a geek right now because I'm like starstruck and think I need an autograph or something, because I get to talk to somebody in an infomercial, which is just the coolest thing ever. But I'm more curious because I've never gotten to do a live class, how it differs. And I'm actually slotted to go to an instructor training in October with Amanda, but I want to know the difference between what we see on the DVD versus what to expect in the live class.
Great question.
That's a great question. So the whole workout that you're going to go to, the 50 to 55 minute workout that you're going to go to, is like a sampler class. You get a warm up, and then you get what's called, this is the class that you'll go to, you get what's called a heat building section, where there's a lot of sun salutations. The section after that is lower body, which is all leg work. The section after that is called a full body fusion, which takes you through, it's about a 6-minute section that's right and left lead, and it takes you through some more yoga poses. So it's a little bit more yoga in there. So think of lower body as really athletic strength moves, and then your full body fusion is more a little bit more yoga based. After the full body fusion is your power section, where it's high intensity cardio. Sometimes there's burpees in there. Sometimes there's, knee lifts. Sometimes there's kicks. There's lots of squats, jump squats. And then after that is the best section, in my opinion, of the whole class. And Amanda, I'm sure, is going to have a different opinion, and every instructor will, but it's the flow section. And the flow is more traditional yoga poses, and they flow into about a 5-minute song and section, and we do everything on one right leg, and then we do the next song on the opposite leg. After that, you go into a core and more, where you do some core work, some planks. You might do traditional abdominal work. We put in the next lessons coming out some really fun stuff, something called a pistol roll. I think we just got in a live lesson, and I know you're like, what is a pistol roll? If I could get down on my ground right now, I would show you. We need to have another conference call to go over PiYo moves. I think that's what we do. And a climbing beast we have, and just really fun core move. And the last section is called stretch and strength. And that is where you hold a stretch for probably about 45 seconds, and then you do a strength move. So you really get to go deeper into the stretch, and then you're really warm by then, and then you can really enhance the flexibility in the muscle. So that's about a 55-minute class. Now, every instructor, not all instructors will do the power section. That's the high intensity cardiovascular section, but all of it is modifiable. So anybody can come take a PiYo class, anybody, because there'll be a lot of different levels and layers you can put in.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
We got a question in the chat box, Michelle, that says, why am I so chicken to use my certification skills and just teach a darn live class? You make it sound so easy.
Who is this? Raise your hand. Now they're not going to raise. Oh, there you are. Jump. And that's just jump, because that is the first class is the hardest class to do. The first class, the hardest class to do. I run the Facebook group for PiYo instructors, and we've got about 3,000 people in there. And if you're not a member, have Amanda add you. But we go over, everybody talks in there about how scary it is to do that first class. And then the first class, you have to just get out there and jump and do it. And the next class will be a little bit easier. And the next class will be a little bit easier. And the fourth class might totally suck. And then the fifth class will be a lot easier. And then you'll rock it on the seventh and eighth. It's just practice. It's just getting up there and doing it. And of course, imagining everybody in their underwear always helps.
Especially when they're in down dog.
Oh, no.
I love it. Will you just for fun, raise your hand or wave for a second if you are PiYo certified? Because I know we have a few. Jessica, get your hand up. Thank you. Yeah. I think I got certified on lesson 8. Woo-hoo. I think I did my master trainer audition with like lesson 14. So just a comment saying I've been certified since lesson 19. I've been instructing for 2 years. I love how PiYo has transformed, and my classes are enjoying how the music moves and connects them to the movements. It's great. And then we have another message saying I'm getting certified Sunday. Do you have Ellen Elizabeth DeWord, Nicole? Do you know who your master trainer is? Seattle? Yeah, Seattle. Maybe Ellen. Jen Ernsberger. Gotcha. Okay, what are the steps to getting certified? You go to Beachbody Live. I can answer this one. You go to beachbodylive.com and you register. That's your steps. Michelle, you can add to that if you like.
Come out to Southern California and you have lunch with me, and then we just go do the training and piece of cake.
Oh, okay. Here's another question for you, Michelle. Do you do other workouts besides PiYo?
Beachbody workouts or my own?
I think she's asking for you personally. Yes.
My favorite combination to do, honest to goodness, and how I prepped and got ready for the PiYo DVD is somebody asked the other day, like, how did you get so lean for that PiYo DVD? Well, I worked my butt off, but the way I did it, and this is not, it's funny because somebody said, is it hard to keep up? I'm like, yes, it's extremely hard to keep up. But my favorite combination was doing, and I say this because I'm a runner. So I run on a consistent basis. I ran a lot more at that time, but my favorite was a T25 and a PiYo hybrid. Loved it. That was my favorite to do. And I teach, did I say that? I teach step, and I teach a cardio, core, and more class, which incorporates light weights. That's what I do on a regular basis too.
Awesome. Who else? Brian, I know you're dying to ask because you've been doing PiYo. At the very least, you have to tell Michelle your wonderful experience.
Uh-oh.
Here he comes. He's unmuting himself. There we go.
I had a fantastic experience because it helped me with my shoulders, but I think anyone can have that same experience if they'll just follow the program. I'm very excited to hear you on the call though tonight. I mean, this is really cool.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate that. And yeah, if you just follow the program, it's funny that we see a lot of hybrids out there. Like we see a lot of people doing PiYo and something else. And then I always suggest if you're used to a longer workout and 18 minutes is not enough for you, then do 2. Do the upper body and do the lower body. Or in days when you have drench and you have sweat, that's probably enough. That's probably enough for that day. It's a pretty dang good workout. But I would combine 2 workouts if you want to. But honestly, that sometimes that can just be enough because it's challenging. And it literally is using your body to sculpt your body. It really is.
Michele, you may not be able to publicly share this. Anyways, I'm going to ask a deep question. Are there plans? You know how like Turbo Fire came out with like the low intensity hits or whatever it was after the fact. Will there be more PiYo DVDs?
Okay, somebody else asked me that the other day, and I can honestly say I do not know, but I can also say that they're talking.
Okay.
So my fingers are crossed because that would be, there's so many more ideas and there's so many more things that we have like on the back burner that we know would be perfect, like especially after doing the first one. It'd be so awesome to do another set, and fingers crossed. They are. I don't know if you guys, and I didn't understand the process, so I'm going to say this. I did. I don't know if you understand that first they do the DVD, and if it becomes successful enough, then they do the infomercial. So that's the process they're in now. So if the infomercial works, then that is the next process. I thought it went before and prior to, and I was like, well, where's the infomercial? Where's the, groups that come prior to? But it's in reverse. It goes the opposite way.
That's interesting. We got another question. Do you, Michele, have a favorite PiYo Live lesson?
Oh, that's, it's so funny. It's so funny. I went to a person's, I don't have a chance usually to go to somebody's class, and I went to a class the other day, and I'm like, what lesson is that? I don't remember any of that stuff. They all blend together for me, but I don't have a favorite lesson, so to speak, but 28 Flow is one of my favorites. It has the songs Sail and Stay in it. Those are my favorites. And I do have to say that the newer ones that just are coming out, 35 and 36, it hasn't even been seen yet, are amazing. They're super easy to learn, super fun, and 37 that we were doing now is pretty dang cool too. And Amanda, I'll send that to you.
Yeah, I want to see. Yeah, it's so funny, right? When you said 35, I was like, oh, 35, and then my glutes winced and went, no, don't say it. Shh.
I don't know. Do you have challenges between your coaches and give out gifts? Do you do that?
I never give out gifts. I really hate recognition, and I don't really like my team. So no.
So can I give you some PiYo gangster wear to give to the people that were on the call, that made the call? Like, I don't know if you want to put names in a hat or do that.
I would love it. Did you see what I'm wearing? Did you see? It's my special. See, and I get to show my boobs too.
This.
Oh, if Bill were here, he could do his gang symbol. I don't know how he does it.
I'll send you some stuff, and I have some decals too.
Oh, awesome.
I'll send you a bunch of that stuff for your team.
Actually, we are. So sorry. If you have time for one more question, I think I've got maybe 2 hands in the air. Sorry, Nicole, you are unmuted. Go ahead.
Well, hi, Michele. I just actually wanted to comment. In our PiYo group right now, Tammy, my new coach, she's up on there in the green. Some of the girls in there, they're excited because they're like, I'm sticking with my girl, Michele. They call you their girl. They're like, I'm sticking with my girl, Michele. And couple of the girls the other day were like, I finally did all the burpees on my own. So I'm not sticking with Michele anymore, but they're moving forward. But you're known as my girl, Michele.
That they can hang out with me anytime, and let them know that in my live classes I still stick with me. So yeah. On the
That's cute. I just wanted to add that. So thank you.
Oh, thank you very much.
And I think I saw one more hand. Did I have one more hand? Sorry. Okay, I imagine it. Someone was just picking their nose. It's fine. Yeah, I'll do it, right? I just can't thank you enough from all the rock stars, Michele, for being on tonight. We all love and adore you so much. Scarlett would have been on to, your baby would have been on to say hello if it weren't so late here in the Central Time Zone. But we love you and we thank you so much. And we'll hope you won't be a stranger to our calls.
No, Amanda, I will come on anytime. And I know you guys all know this, but Amanda's amazing, and she is one of my most favorite people in the entire world. And I'll get all teary-eyed, but we have a private 3-way chat between her and I and the 2 other girls, and She makes me giggle and laugh every single dang day that I get to her, and I just absolutely love her. So if you guys need me again, all she has to do is call. No problem. And as long as it's not like 12 o'clock at night, I'm there. I'm good.
Oh, thank you so much, Michelle. Everybody give her a round of applause because we're all on mute. Yay! We love you guys. Thank you so much for making time for us tonight. And rock stars, I'll see you next week. Thank you guys. Bye. Love you, Michelle.